Good morning, dear friends. Today is the third week of this series, Eurythmy in support of your immune support system. So happy to be with you again. This is a hallmark of my week, and I'm joyful to be able to meet people who are looking to build their own personal Eurythmy practice. This morning, before we start, I'm going to turn and show to you a board that I prepared for our work today. I know that sometimes I present to you quite a few exercises as I take you on a journey. And I want to show you some of the exercises will be more or less essential for your practice, and others are exercises that are building up the strength so that your practice can be more authentic. Today we'll start with the Eurythmy meditation. This is the verse that is in your PDF every week. This was given for Eurythmists by Rudolf Steiner to help us to deepen our practice of what we're doing. The sitting or standing meditation, but not a movement meditation. We'll continue with the peace exercise, which belongs to a few different things that we can choose from as we make our warm-up exercises to create the space we're standing in. After that, the contraction expansion is a natural outgrowth, also as a warm-up exercise, but a beautiful way to tune the body and soul. From there, we will go into the walking exercise. And with that, we've established a connection into the low will, the feet. From there, today, I'll go directly into two of the exercises that we're using for the immune support exercises, the so-called yes, no, and the sympathy and antipathy. These are written in red because these are two of the core exercises for this series. The other three that are in red are also the core exercises for the immune support sequence. These two I place in the beginning of the lesson, immediately following the threefold walking, because they deal with the deep will with the legs. After that, then, I will take us back into some work with the hands, and that's unique to this series. I haven't done any of that in prior series that I've taught you. Exercises with the so-called soul exercises, which are the furnaceness and lightness and so on. And I'll speak a little more about that when we get there. And then from there, three vowels, and getting to know these three vowels is essential for preparation for these three immune support series. So by the end of this whole sequence, the three in red are the gold for the immune support series. They're the ones to focus on. And the others are a welcome, and one might even say necessary doorway for creating your Eurythmy practice. But with this small introduction, you can understand how to weight the relevance, importance of the exercises that we're doing. So we begin. Take your place in your room. Once again, hopefully you have a space that is fairly clear of distractions. Of course, you have a place for your computer. You are seeing me. I'm not seeing you. You are quite private in what you're seeing. And you can go ahead and stretch. Take a deep breath. And remember, Eurythmy is a practice in which we're really moving with the etheric body. But sometimes it just feels good to get the etheric body ready by being sure that your muscles are as fluid as they can be to be a little bit comfortable. So a little stretch can be helpful. Are you ready? As I said, I'll begin with the Eurythmy meditation first. I'll come a little closer to the screen for you and speak this. Listen to it. You don't need to move your arms at all, but when I speak it, I generally move my arms so that you can see where my attention is going, where my inner will is going. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the word of my feet. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands. And the strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head how the great world in the human being speaks, sings, thinks. Speak it once again, and in speaking this time, I won't use my hands at all, as I never do when I think the exercise, but I put my attention, thereby my will and my etheric energy, into the parts of the body and of the room that I'm thinking of. I seek within me creative forces working, creative powers living. The heavy weight of earth tells me through the word of my feet, think of my arms in the air. The forming power of the air tells me through the singing of my hands, I think upwards. The strength of heaven's light tells me through the thinking of my head, through the big circle, how the great world in the human being, down, speak, things, in my head, things. Now I begin my movement practice. Stand here. Now we've already built this up in all of our previous lessons. You remembered that you've come to the earth and you're standing now in three-dimensional space. A human being. Imagine as you stand here, the space you're standing in, think of the stars above your head. Align yourself with one star as if it's your guardian star. Standing straight. Let the light from that star shine into your crown chakra. And remember, you don't need to look up towards it. You hold your head straight. And let the light from that star shine down through you, coming down through your spine, past the throat area, the heart, the diaphragm, all the way through your legs and into the molten core of the earth. You are light placed between heaven and earth, living light. Now, spread your arms wide. You're in relationship to the world of nature all around you. Between heaven and earth, there are these few miles that we occupy. Hold it. Now be aware again, as we've been practicing, of the difference between your front space, your visible front space, and the back space, your invisible space. Now we begin to move. We go down into gravity from where the body is built, and yet being incarnated. And we go up into lightness from where our spirit has come, spread wide, and come back to hold the balance in the middle. The world of the senses Draw them in, imagine all the things you can see and touch. Look at your fingertips, and then if you want to look beyond them and imagine this sense world. Now feel your back space. Use a completely different kind of feeling to feel behind you into invisibleness. The world of spirit releases you from the room. Now from all directions, feel inside my heart, I bear an image of the whole world. Like ball of golden light that is you that lives in the heart is informed constantly by impressions. Now open wide again. Remind yourself that the space around you is an etheric universe. Put down, you're rushing through living space. Put down into gravity. Turn your arms up and feel, look for the sensation that space is thick. It keeps you from going this empty space up to the light, and back to hold the balance in the middle. When you can feel this, that's how you find the right tempo in your the world of the senses pulls you forward. The world of the nonsense releases you. Inside your heart, you bear an image of the holy one. Finally, at the culmination of this exercise, you vow to change, to have a positive effect on the world you live in. As you unfold your arms, your hands are the hands of a peacemaker. And you feel, may peace be below me. May peace be above me. And may peace be all around me. May peace be before me. I love the things of the senses. May peace be behind me. And may peace be within me. Put your hands to your heart. Feel inside yourself. Breathe. And your lungs are massaging this loving heart of yours. And now from here, we're going to do the contraction expansion exercise. Your heart, this core of light inside you is like a seed which was born out of the flower of the universe. Let that flower unfold as you spread your arms. Now allow the sun and the power, the warmth of the universe flow into you and plant a new seed in your heart. And open wide. This happens every lifetime you live. It happens every day you wake up. And you fall asleep. And it happens with every breath you take and with every sense experience that you have. We are constantly breathing between self and world. The breath, the physical breath, is only one of the many parts of this breathing. So we'll speak our breathing, our contraction, expansion first. Within my heart, shines the light of the sun. Within my soul, weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me, and the warmth of the world. Now drop your arms low through me. Feel yourself peacefully standing, aware of heaven and earth, and this growing sensation of yourself as spirit consciousness in your body. Now let me remind you, as we get ready for our next exercise, of a few important things in Eurythmy. Please don't speak the words out loud. Hear it in your inner ear, even as I do. In my silent practice, there's no speaking ever. I'm just listening inside myself. Remember to keep your eyes open so that you don't go into this dreamlike inner space, but you're practicing etheric energy, being fully present in the here and now. Remember to use open gaze so that your eyes are seeing everything and not focused. Admittedly, when you're watching the webinar, you're looking at my picture, but try to go beyond that now and in your personal practice, and just use open gaze to get to sense the entire world at one time. And finally, please don't look up with your eyes, but keep your gaze steady. What can change with your eyes is that when you're thinking of the universe, your eyes are much bigger. Your feeling from your eyes are bigger. And when you think of microcosm of self, your eyes become softer and your focal point moves in, but you don't close your eyes. Thank you. So with the peace exercise, we felt space. With the contraction expansion, we felt heart. Now we'll move into the feet. We've been working on that for several weeks, with some of you for a full year already. Free-fold walking. Imagine to begin with that your feet are stuck with Velcro to the floor. Sometimes it's helpful to start with an open stance like I do. And as you take the first part of your step, you must consciously feel you unstick your foot with the Velcro releases, if you will. Might be a hopeful picture. Then you carry your foot and don't overextend it when the knee is still bent a little bit here. You touch the ground. Here, those are the components of lifting, carrying, carry. Let me remember when you were a newcomer, like it might be you. Well, the first thing to work on was just coordinating this lift carry play. Although truly, it's something that we do with every step unconsciously. We always have to free ourselves from gravity, take a step, and then place that foot. Lift, carry, lift, carry. And remember that we're learning with this practice to touch the floor. What's important is the way that we free our foot, move it, and then the way we greet the floor. And we touch the foot with the floor with the toes first and roll down, whether we're going forwards or backwards. Again, lift, roll the foot off the floor, carry, don't take too big a step. Place with the toe first, roll your foot down. Heel, arch, toe. Heel, arch, toe here. Carry, and here, toe, arch, heel. Heel, arch, toe. Carry, toe, arch. And the essential element of this is that you begin breathing with it. You wouldn't want to go any slower than I am going right now with it. They're at good speed. But later we need to go, be able to go much, much, much faster with it. But at this very slow tempo, you can concentrate on what you're doing. Or you can learn to breathe with it. One deep and very relaxed step. Each breath. One breath for each step. Inhale. Exhale. I almost feel like I exhale through my foot. And the task is to try to have every aspect of the step equally powerful, because they reveal your personality type. Some people are so impulsive that they kick their foot forward. No, you want to deal with your power of lifting, carrying through on a project and finishing it. You want those all to be in equal perfection, equal harmony. Again, deepening once more. With the lift, you inhale, where you exhale. You discover this rotating energy here, the circle that accompanies every step. As if you have sunrise, noon, the unfolding day, and sunset under the earth. New sunrise, unfolding day, and sunset. Let's take one more. And as I said, you can practice this for quite a long time. You might even decide to do this one outside. Like I said, don't do most Eurythmy outside, but this one you could do. And those of you who've been with me for several weeks know that we're also practicing doing this with different hand gestures, which are especially interesting if you're going to do an hour worth of three-fold walking. But with this, we have created a new connection with the lower body. And everyone needs to be fully, with soul and spirit and power, incarnated into their legs. Otherwise, we're of no use for healing this planet. All right, friends, let's now put our attention down into the legs and do the first two of the 5 soul exercises. Now that we've created power into the legs, we're going to do yes with the left leg, and no with the right leg, as we've learned already 2 weeks ago. Standing straight. Because we're now self-incarnated, we're going to be able to create judgments, assessments, realizations, value understandings through the leg. So with your left leg, make a half circle forwards. You're here, you're still standing with your weight evenly distributed on both legs. Don't come in forward. Again, yes. And inwardly feel what the power of affirmation is. I will step into a situation. Yes. It's a good thing to do. Yes. Do this 10 times. Yes. If you're able to, you just discover a little bit, there's a little bit of lightness in the foot as if it's winging. Yes. 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 The hidden value of this is to feel that your thought forces can flow easily. Left leg. Row. Half circle backwards says, I make my boundaries here and I won't do this. Yes, this is not correct. Yes. Yes. I'm so sorry. This should be no. I'm using the wrong word. No, this is not correct. No. 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 And now we'll do this in alternation. The practice needs to be to completely release into the leg, bringing extra stability here, quickly and agilely, almost as fast as you can think. Left leg first. Yes. Right leg. No. Left leg. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Let's go faster. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Release. Releasing. Feel a breath go through the deeper breath. Naoki sigh. Just releases the breath into the lower body. Gets us out of the head into the lower body, which doesn't, in fact, support the establishment of all the systems working together, increasing the immune support. Interesting to understand that we must know the body as a whole. Now there's one other exercise to do with the leg, and this is called sympathy and antipathy. I will give you a profile view on this one as we learn it. I'm turning to my left, to my right side closer to the camera. You should continue to face the camera, no need for you to turn. This exercise should be done slowly with feeling. Imagine that in front of you is a pool of wonderful warm water. You're going to gently dip your foot into that pool, just your toe tip. Don't put any weight on this foot, but touch with your toe and feel relaxed. And again. I'm going to do this 10 times. The name for this experience is sympathy. But the feeling is complete safety and warmth and opening. Again, if you can think physiologically, all of your arterial blood is just opening and being nourished through this warm water. Relax, no tension, sympathy. And again, sympathy. And one more time, sympathy. You can see I am slightly curved with my whole body. Perhaps you have to shake out your left leg, and if you like. Now we have the opposite or the complementary picture, and we're going to put the right foot backwards. And here the water is racing cold, and you'd almost rather not do it. Antipathy. Waking up, drawing back. You notice my body is slightly curved in the inverse direction. A little bit like this. And if you're having this image of cold water, you'll feel a little bit of shock back there. And racingly cold. And sympathy. And sympathy. Hold. If you bring up the force to endure it. Yes. And now we'll do the two in alternation. We begin with sympathy. Or and hold. Feet together. Moving. Racing. Soothing. Racing. Sympathy. And sympathy. And sympathy. Antipathy. Sympathy. Antipathy. And rest. In contrast to the yes-no exercise, the sympathy and antipathy exercise should be done very slowly. These are polar experiences. The first, the yes-no, is freeing head forces to go into the limb. Sympathy and antipathy, in contrast, bringing these feelings, is really warming and affecting the metabolism. In addition to being part of the immune sequence, it's also an exercise used for people who don't really relate well to the stomach, to the digestion. And this is an invitation to warmly be quite active in the processing of the foods that you eat. Thank you. Now we'll return to the process of our warm-up exercises. In this series, I've introduced exercises that I've never done before on the online classes, and these are doing the soul exercises with the hands. In Eurythmy, we do not merely have a gymnastic relationship to the body. I should correct that sentence and take out the word merely. We don't have a gymnastic relationship to the body. We have a flowing etheric relationship, and we have deeply a soul relationship. So we ensoul every movement that we do, and a consciousness aspect where we direct our entire presence into everything we're doing. This time to develop the capacity to make soul gestures. We've been working with some soul movements, which we then have been doing when we walk. I'd like to focus on them today to begin with in standing. The first movement that we learned was this. Please join me, standing with the hands flat upon one another. Feel that. What does that feel like? Your shoulders are square, your back is straight, your feet are flat on the floor, you're standing tall. What does this feel like? If we put words to this gesture, it's earnestness. This one doesn't carry laughter. Now, separate your hands a little bit. So we're holding them in relation to one another, but let them breathe in the air. We have called this one lightness. And you feel that that's in contrast to the rigid earnestness, lightness. Now I want to teach you a third one that I haven't taught you yet. It's called inwardness. It's a very beautiful one. Again, bringing expressivity to the way that you experience your hands. I'm going to hold them in front of you. One hand slightly in front of the other. Archetypally, it's the right hand, but it doesn't need to be. You hold them like this, cocked, and you touch the thumb to the index finger of both hands. You're feeling this shape here. I'll give you a moment to sense that. What is that feeling like for you? All the feeling of inwardness. You can add that to your walking practice. From there, then, we have gone to the one that I've called piety, which we've also called carrying the candle here. Very delicate movement. Your breath changes with each of these. And from here, we folded our arms. We could call this devotion, prayer. But imagine walking through the church like this, holding faith with your heart. And now we'll continue and we'll bring in the soul exercises, the soul movement that are used in the 3 immune support soul exercises. So some of you know these already. Spread your arms wide. Feel that you can sense through your entire arm. Feel your heart wide open. A little bit like what we felt in the peace exercise. That you're open to the whole world of nature and of people. All this one, love. And the next exercise, the next movement, let's do reverence. Look at hands above you. In this case, holding them here, I want you to feel like your arms are angel wings. Feel behind you, not just up and out, but behind you. It's like our opening exercise when we felt the space behind us. And finally, hold your arms down. And this we learn to feel as hope. Try to feel again the space behind you and feel yourself standing inside it as if in a grill. Now you're welcome to go through these positions and standing as often as you like. And let's go through it now in walking. Let's go through them one after another. If you have a circle in your room, you could walk a circle. I would walk a circle right now, except I want to stay in relationship to the camera, so I won't turn my back. But you could walk all the way around the circle in the different moods, like that, following your face the whole time. But I'm going to do just 4 steps forward and 4 back in each position. Choose what works for you. Begin with earnestness. 4, lift, carry, place, steps. Lift, carry, place, earnest. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Separate the hands slightly in lightness. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Another new gesture of inwardness. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry. Feel how tenderly your toes can touch the ground in this one. Carry, place. Candle that you hold here in piety. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Lift, carry, place. Now create a different mood in yourself. Lift, carry, lift, carry. What the difference is? Carry, place, lift, carry, place. Not as inward as these, is it? Holding yourself and your soul. Spread your arms wide, open your heart. Lovingly, go back, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, and now arms up. Feel the back space as you walk forward, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place. Let your arm come down here into hope. Lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, place, lift, carry, and place. And release. Thank you. If you have really been able to immerse yourselves into these different experiences, you should feel that your heart space has been really warmed through the wonderful practice, and keep looking to deepen it so that these gestures are not really symbols. This is what I look like if I'm biased. They're not just symbols, but you feel a real identification with the quality of your inner soul experience and what you're expressing here. All these archetypal expressions of what the soul experiences living in the body. There are more, but I'm not going to show you all of them, but they're, for instance, sadness or grief, things like that, but we don't need to add those to our practice. Now, with this practice, we're on the doorway to being able to do the vowels. And in this series, we're working specifically with 3 vowels, the ah, the a, and the u. So let's begin by feeling with heartfelt energy the sound ah. Let's do it in the way that it's done in the ah reverence exercise. With a heart full of appreciation and adoration, open your arms into awe. Again, in contrast to these tiny soul exercises, now you're feeling you can pour your entire soul into the world with wonder. In opening, you also allow yourself to be filled. There's a two-way street here. An exact measure to how much you can open your heart, the world will fill you. Remember, the arms must not be too wide nor too narrow. Oh, just exactly this angle. You remember I said if it's too wide, you can't speak. It would be, or too narrow. But this is a clear sound. And we'll follow that with the sound of Mars, the sound of boundary. A. This is where we cross. This is the sound of limit. So we will take one arm upon the other. Every crossing is essentially an A. A. It's fruitful to practice right over left or left over right. A. And in the mood of A, stand straight. A. Create the sensation that you can resist the world. A. You can make boundaries. A. The world stops here where you make your boundary. And then you choose what can come in or not. A. And there. And out is the third of the vowels of these series is O. The very dark vowel, very contained. When you put your legs together like this, really side by side, already standing in O. So arms are wide, still I've got O legs. But if I bring my arms in close to my body and hold them parallel, my whole body is an O. I can create this O in front of me or above me or below me. Wherever I practice parallel bones, I'm an O. And again. Therapeutically, we use this to help people who need to stand better, need support in standing up. And then let's go straight to the O, the kind of specialty O that we need in the soul exercises. Put the backs of your hands together and feel your hands becoming parallel this way from inside. And the parallel as you pour yourself into the tightest parallel you can make. This is the O that we create in the Hope O exercise. And release. Thank you. And so now, as we bring this class to an end, we will do the 3 arm soul exercises. We'll do each one 7 times. We do first the awe and reverence exercise. I'll turn slightly. And I begin by going forwards. I can do it just in standing, and I will this first time. Go forwards with all, imagining to myself something beautiful in the world. And now I feel that my angel reminds me to remember the world of stars, the world of my sources. Now I hold my arms in reverence as we practiced before. And now I let myself imagine all of the stars in the sky filled with angelic power. And I lower my arms and feel myself shone upon by spirit light all the way down to my heels. That was one cycle. And again, all. And now into reverence. And my work here is to reverently feel the wonder of the night sky of the stars. Linger in the back space and still lingering until my feeling gets down to my heels. And in conclusion, I feel myself in balance between the front space and the back space. And again, oh, I love the world. I love the spirit realm. Open myself to be in touch. Yes. Do you remember how I've described this? It can also help against insomnia. I've been in the world all day and reverence at night. I wander in the stars. I'm free of the sense world. Open my mind to oneness. It helps against stress, especially including computer stress. Take my mind off of those machines, including my cars, and I look for higher help. One more time. I belong to the sense world, and let's never forget that I'm in constant relation to the spirit world. Down to your heels. How do you feel? Sparkly behind it. Now we'll go into the second, which is healing for the middle system, the rhythmic system, the heart, lungs, breathing. Spread your arms wide. Think of a loving relationship to the world, and let this loving relationship fill the space up in front of you here, and step back into the rightful boundaries. Generously fill the world with warmth and love. Release. Love. Boundaries. You're the kind of person who gives too much. You might run out of strength if you don't learn how to make boundaries. If you're the person who holds yourself in too much and doesn't make boundaries, you might learn how to love even more. you go back into your boundaries. Whether you're too giving or not giving, not relating enough, this exercise establishes the right relationship. Again, breathe. And this serves our immune system by bringing our breath into rightful relationship between self and inner self. And finally, the hope exercise strengthens us all the way into our metabolism. Begin already with your legs in U. First, slightly. Put your hands behind you and feel hope. May I be strong enough to do the world. May I be strong enough to be grounded. Bring the backs of your hands together. Arm, core, golden, healing, spirit, light, warm and comforting, all the way through your body into your feet. And from sources much bigger than we are, allow spirit to fill you with the pure archetypes of good health. And release. Open and hope. And you can put your weight a little bit on your heels if you do this. And then lift. Now you have flat feet, or some people even rise on their toes at this moment. I never do, but some people may. But balance yourself right into your legs. And rest. Be sure your legs are tight together. Hold. Through the head, past the larynx, past the heart and the diaphragm, through the pelvis, all the way into the legs. And curl your feet onto the floor. Okay. And release. One more time. Hold your weight a little bit behind you. Now as much golden warm light as you can into your crown, through your head and your larynx, your heart and your diaphragm. Pour your spirit self into your body. And now, you complete this exercise, but before you take a step, feel this extraordinary sensation of being firmly grounded into your legs. Notice that we seldom stand this grounded in the world. You don't want to take a step. Stay with that feeling. And now when you take your first step, make it deliberate. And bring your hands to your heart to close your practice. Thank you. This was a very rich and full practice today, and we got through almost all of the exercises that we do for the immune support series. Next week, we'll even practice compressing it a little bit so that you can in fact have a 5 to 15-minute practice that I have promised you to work on your immune support exercise. And we'll speak about it a bit more. Thank you so much for joining. Those of you who are new or haven't done much Eurythmy with me, with my whole heart, I encourage and invite you to now close your cameras and leave the meeting. And those who have done advanced work will join us for another short class working on a poem or two for the Michaelmas season. And for the rest of you, you are so satiated with the health-bringing elements of what we just did that I bless you and thank you and promise you you'll get the link soon, including the link for donating if you feel so moved to do. And we'll continue in just an instant in the more advanced short exercises for Michaelmas. Thank you. All right, dear friends, the small computer glitch was because my internet just blitzed off. My service provider just put me offline, but fortunately, it came right back on again. So I just had to press a button and I was back in the meeting. Let's remember that this is still the season of Michaelmas. Last Wednesday was Michaelmas, and this season continues for 4 weeks. From October 29th to September 29th for 4 weeks. And so we're really dedicating our spiritual search right now to find the support, the impulse, the understanding of this spiritual being named Michael, whom we meet whom I'm talking about in the Thursday evening classes. And we will do a few exercises as we've been working on in the spirit of Michael to build the iron forces in our body. We've been doing that with alliteration and with work with the consonants. And we'll also do something with the A sound. Before we begin, I want to teach you how to do the name Michael in Eurythmy. And I actually would prefer to do it in the German form, which is Michael, because, and those of you who have been with me, you know this, there's a real difference between the sound I, Michael, and the sound E, Michael. The sound I belongs to the moon. It's this flowing form of transformation, silvery light flowing. The sound E is the inborn sound of the ego, shining in light between heaven and earth. When we do a name in Eurythmy, we always make a point of doing all of the sounds. Otherwise, in Eurythmy, we often skip over doing the smaller, less important vowels, the consonants, and just do the dominant sounds. But the more complete the Eurythmy is, the better the stagecraft, I could say, the more sounds we will do, and especially when we do a name. So for instance, in front of me, I see that Lorna is with us, and if I were to do Lorna's name, I would do L O R. And I would riddle that. What does it mean to have a name that begins with life and then love and movement and boundaries ending in wonder? So you may all research your name, but let us now do the name Michael and pronounce it in this wonderful Hebraic, Jewish, Greek, German way, Michael. What do we have? We start with the M, which is the sound from Aquarius and the sound of connecting. We have a couple of M's, you know. We have the M that we can do with two arms forward and back. We can also do like this. What does that mean for the name Michael or Michael? That means perhaps we can all, as artists, make our own picture, but Michael is streaming through the etheric world in our time, reaching towards us, looking for us. And I would do Michael here with two opposing arms. I strive towards Michael, he streams towards me. Michael. M. Again. In your personal practice, go ahead and take some time to move back and forth, imagining your prayers ascending, Spirit meeting you, answering your prayers. And from that, we rise into the E. You can sense how different that is from the I, Michael. We can see this being pointing towards the light of spirit, light of the sun-born, the Christ spirit, and keeping the dragon at bay, both. And in that, I would take I would let my M stream into the E. Otherwise, it just, I'm spelling M, E. Now I would let this M grow into an E. Again. And always it's possible to do it with the other arm up. No problem if you choose. Again. And then in the written form, we have me. But once again, I would like to take me. Let's take that as the pure German sound and not the K sound that we would have in English. Not Michael, but Michael. See if you could say that also. Shy. It's that German CH, but we do it softly, not but me. This is formally also the sound that we learned in the evolution series, BMDN, and then if you remember the picture for that, if you were here, the sound from Libra actually, which is where Michael sits in the zodiac. I reach into the world and learn from the world. Again. Powerful unto me, Michael. Michael, the beautiful boundary setting, conqueror of the dragon, revealer of the light, will then let the world flow into them, through them, fill them. Let's put this together. Be. On the wonder of opening the spirit. Be. Perhaps we can take even a higher picture and say, Michael is coming towards us, stands as the revealer of the light, gathers those who can hear him up, and sends them, refers them to the higher spirit. Behold what is above me, behold the sun spirit. Again. And then we'll take the honorific suffix L. That would begin with the sound A, but sometimes we can take the AY, like this A. I want you to see this is across through the chest. A. All right. Try the whole word again. B. A. Let's please weave that into the poem that we were doing. Hail to Michael, brave and bright. Let's do that first line a couple of times. Begin with the hail, like this over your head. Hail. It's an honorific form of hailing, acknowledging. Hail to me. Why? And now close yourself with alliteration and power with the sound B. Wrap yourself in this cloak. Brave and bright. And this B in this case is strong and not just soft and tender as a maternal B would be, but the B of a cloak of light and protection. And let's try again. Hail to me. Why? And wrap the cloak around yourself. Brave and bright. And again. Yeah. All four of this image, as you do this, you're looking for a great being. Hail, 2. Let him appear through your movement. Me, I let him be in the space with you. Me, I, and lay back and wrap his cloak around you. Parade, one, right. Now let's continue with the alliteration. Loves to live in the light. L and L and L. Remember with the alliteration, we are powerfully embodying the logos onto the place where we're standing in space. So, as we do an L, 3 L's, love to live in the light, really feel that your ego-filled being is sculpting, powerfully changing the space around it. Out, grave and bright. Reach into this etheric world. And we're going to change world substance, the earth substance into light. Who loves, work it, go ahead. 2, live, offer it up in the light. Try again. Remember, there is an enormous step of progress that we make in our eurythmy when we can really feel that we are speaking into space and not just moving circles and sounds. You bring your logos power to your movements. So let's go. Ooh. Love. 2. Live in the light. And now we bring the fire force through our sound, the fierce foe he fights. And remember, the archetypal F goes forward, but this one we're going to do is if we're shooting thunderbolts onto the earth. Yet we're powerful enough that we don't go with it. We stand forcefully controlling the fire. The fierce. Oh, he fights. And you notice I'm still looking ahead. I hope you are too, but what if you look like that? That dragon might just grab you by the nose and pull you down. Don't do that. Look at here. Oh, be aware at every step of the slipperiness of the dragon. He fights. You hold him at bay. Again. The fierce. Oh, he fights. With a swinging sword, he smites. First, your right hand, going to get your golden sword ready. In the end, you get 2 swords. Remember, the right hand with swinging left hand, sword, both hands, he smites. Right hand, you start out, do an 8 from the bottom up, half of an 8, with swinging out of the half of another 8, sword, and now both arms cross above, one cross, and hold the dragon at bay. Remember, we learned this last year, and I know that S is so hard. Make the air sizzle with your local power, with swinging sword. He fights with swinging sword. He might. dragon, dark and dread, the deep. Keep them down there. Dark and dread. And we end with a non-alliterative line. Hail the victory of the light. Hail the triumph of the light. So we're going to hail the of the light. And let's end with the second T, light. All right, powerful words. Let's do that 2 more times. Hail to my and great and right who loves to live in the light of ears. Oh, he fights with swinging for he smites the dragon dark and dread. Yeah, the triumph of the light. One more time. And I know you all remember the first 2 weeks we practiced hammering this, stamping this. Now let's practice taking one step for each of the words that we do in Eurythmy. And it should be a forceful step, but you need not stamp it. So we'll go forwards and backwards. To me, and hooray. Last step, and you can put your feet together. Right, backwards. Oh, one step, loves. Forceful step. 2, live. Third step, you may put your feet together in the light. Yeah. So, fierce. Match your step with your sound. Oh, he fights. Step with your right foot with swinging forward. He smites the dragon. Arc and red. Yeah. The triumph of the light. Thank you so much, and you will get an email in a couple of hours from me. And let's thank the computer gods and their elementals for only tweaking us one time today. What a gift. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michelle, always here, and everyone, you don't know how much she gives to us. Thank you.
You are ever so grateful. Thank you, Cynthia.
You're welcome. Goodbye to all.